Technology is emerging and changing every single day. Think about the way school ran 20 years ago looks totally different to the way school runs now. So we love technology for a number of different uses, and in this video today, you are going to take a short glimpse at how technology has made teaching that much easier. There are many advantages to teaching music in 2022, and some of them are much simpler than you might think. Here are a few that I use in my music teaching daily to make teaching and learning more fun and engaging. My students love what I call the ghost piano. Essentially, it's any electric piano that you have with a recording feature that allows you to record your playing. This is very useful in the choral setting as it allows you to have your piano accompaniment playing while you're able to be closer to the students and be able to hear and assess what they're singing or playing much better. It also frees up your hands for conducting or playing four-hand piano duets with just two hands. Interactive learning. We could talk ad nauseum about pen and paper worksheets and how they can be effective and how they can't be effective. Don't get me wrong, they have their place, but in this instance we find the benefit of digitally interactive learning activities to be reaching its peak, especially in the music classroom. Students are practicing the same skills that they would normally practice on a piece of paper, however, they are now able to actually see and hear at the same time the skills that they are practicing. And while we're on the subject, talking about digitally available media, my favorite thing is our digitally available textbook. There are a number of different companies that have these produced, but the one that we have been using most frequently is called Quaver. Gone are the days of music teachers endlessly changing CDs, or better yet, trying to find the correct start point on their tape deck for the songs they're using for their lessons. And this could happen sometimes up to 8 times a day, depending on how many classes you're teaching. You simply load your screens for the day, what songs you're going to be using, and you are all ready and set for your class to happen that day. So there are a number of ways that technology has impacted the world of education, especially in music. Let's take a look at how we're using some of these technologies in a lesson that we're working on this week. Hello and welcome to our technology-based music lesson, Space Out and Line Up. Our learning objectives for this lesson are to create a mnemonic device, to recall the order of lines and spaces on the staff, name the treble clef symbol in music, and read music notation on the treble clef staff. The standards we'll be addressing include the artistic process of performing. I can perform a variety of music with fluency and expression. I can read and notate music will be our anchor standard. I can read simple, rhythmic, and melodic notation is our benchmark, and our indicator/learning objective is to be able to name notes in the treble clef. Now for the actual lesson plan activities. The lesson plan will include the introduction and purpose of the lesson, a lines and spaces rap, a review of the music staff sentence, the mnemonic device. There will also be a whole group practice of the assessment that they'll be doing individually for the benchmark. There will be an individual digital benchmark, as well as a pen and paper practice version of the digital benchmark that students will be working on. We have this in place so that while students are waiting for their turn to do their individual digital assessment, they're not just sitting idle. They're also practicing the same skill. When we think about school missions and visions, we want them to exist as more than just a piece of words on paper. This means that when we look at our mission for our school and our vision for our school, we want to think, how are we making this happen and occur every single day throughout our school? One of the biggest things is that we want to continue to actively grow brains and grow hearts, and we're doing that with this lesson by incorporating technology that gives students more access to the content. When we think about the benefits of technology in music education, there are numbers of researchers and thousands of research articles that have information on this topic. A couple that speak to me are in terms of music recording. This author says that students can record themselves and play it back to listen for errors. We also find that teachers can use a variety of software such as smart music or even just digital recorders on phones or other electronic devices, and they can submit those recordings for their playing tests and student self-assessment. In the world of data and analytics, data can also be used to determine if problems follow any overall patterns, including common issues with pitch, rhythm, specific technical skills, or interpretation. And that all goes back into the idea of music recording and using that for analysis, reflection, and improvement. There are also other technology benefits that aren't always going to be electronic technology. For example, eye gaze technology helps people with disabilities such as CP both compose, play, and communicate with music, and there are great developments in accessibility for visually impaired people. We also want to give our learners access to music education and technology, both digital and analog. This allows for us as music educators to do that with these different types of music technology devices. Companies around the world are creating adapted musical instruments and holders for individuals with varying levels of mobility to be able to provide access to music education and music therapy. As you see here on the right side, this is a drum and tambourine holder. I've used these a lot in my previous teaching job, and this comes from a company called A Day's Work LLC. They have a huge product catalog that provides numerous types of assistive devices for those with limited mobility to have access to music education products. Thank you so much for joining me on this short adventure into the world of music education and how we can apply technology to make it more beneficial for our students, provide access to all with music education, and make the job of teaching that much more fun and enjoyable. Enjoy! Bye-bye now.